did. And I'd like to welcome Santa Monica Next editor, Jason Islas. Thanks for coming down.
Thanks for having me.
I guess we're down in your territory at the beach,
Yes.
Pan Pacific Park. And the reason that we're in Santa Monica is because the Expo Line is opening on May 20th.
Right,
And
for the first time in more than half a century, the West Side is getting passenger light rail.
which is amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be a game changer in many, many ways. A lot of people are saying it's going to be the biggest change to West Side transportation since they built the I-10 freeway.
Wow.
So.
Well, and the Blue Bus, too.
Well, yeah, but I mean, this is like in many ways, this is fundamental. Like I think the way I think about it is that this is the new backbone of West Side Transit on the on the West Side, and it's going to really alter a lot of how the other transit systems work. And in
Sure.
fact, Big Blue Bus is actively realigning its transportation grid to better integrate with the Expo line. They're adding north-south lines that haven't existed, and it's actually the Big Blue Bus is experiencing one of the biggest overhauls in its history, in its 70-year history. So it's really changing a lot on the West Side.
I like the idea of north-south buses, too.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of jobs south, and those people need to access the transit system too. Venice, Playa Vista,
Sure,
all
Lincoln.
that. Yeah, Lincoln's a major corridor for sure.
Now, why did they remove the trains 50 years ago? Was it kind of the conspiracy of the Firestones and the Fords and the GMs? And
That's the story. Was it Judge Doom from Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
That's right.
But the truth is actually a little less exciting. The reality is I think the train system, the red car in LA had been on a slow decline since the 20s and the 30s, and in fact there had been a ballot initiative to make what were private train system a public for the city to take it over, and the residents rejected that idea. So it had been in slow decline. The popularity of the car took over. People moved to the suburbs, and there was it wasn't working. It was it had fallen into disrepair. People weren't riding it. It wasn't so then in that state, it just eventually they shut it down. And by then, I think it was sometime in the mid-50s that Santa Monica's light rail line was removed. It wasn't the last, I think, but it was definitely a major change to the West Side. Yeah.
wow. And one of the things I noticed about Santa Monica, it really is one of the best, green commuting. And by green commuting, I mean, they have great bicycle lanes.
Right.
They have a great Blue Bus system. They're getting an Expo line. They have bike shares. They have roller skating lanes on boardwalks.
Right.
Yet the streets always seem so crowded. What percentage of that gridlock would you say are Santa Monicans, and what percentage are like tourists? And how much do you think that the train's going to alleviate that?
Well, so I think it's really important to the train isn't going to cure congestion. I think that is something that is a misconception. People expect the train to make it easier for them to drive. What the train really does is gives people an alternative to be sitting in traffic, and even more so of an alternative than, say, the bus, right? Because the bus still shares the streets with the cars.
Sure.
You can get on that train and you get for $1.75, you get a ticket out of traffic. It's not going to cure congestion. I heard a statistic once that something like 33% of car trips in Santa Monica neither begin nor end in Santa Monica. So it's pure cut-through traffic, about a third of car trips. And the reality is if you live in Santa Monica and your destination's in Santa Monica, it's relatively easy for you to get around, as you pointed out. You can drive, or you can walk, or you can take a bus, or you can take a bike. And I just recently moved to Santa Monica from Koreatown, and As you know, I don't own a car, and it's a lot easier for me now that I'm living and working in Santa Monica. Sometimes I can go a whole week without even getting on a bus. I can just walk and bike everywhere. So Expo will come. It won't make it easier to drive. It'll make it easier for you to get around and opt out of getting stuck in traffic.
And also opt out of parking.
Opt out of parking, opt out of getting stuck in traffic. And frankly, have more of your commute time to yourself as opposed to when you're driving and you have to focus, you can do other things.
Have you ridden the train yet? Like, have you taken a sample ride?
I haven't yet. I'm actually, next week I have a scheduled sample ride. I'm very excited. Yeah, I'm really excited for this. I was there I remember I covered it opening day for phase 1. So it's kind of, now it's the end of this, what's been a major transformative experience for the West Side, and I'm excited to see it happen.
Now, for you living in K-Town, which is also kind of a hub for a lot of the different lines, Purple Line is going through there, and that's an expansion that'll take longer because it's underground. But also the Blue Bus actually goes to K-Town with the Rapid 7. You have also the Red Line just on the perimeter at Vermont, and then you have the 720, of course, and the 728. So when you would live in K-Town to go to Santa Monica, how would you commute? Would you take the Blue Bus or would you take a Metro Rapid?
It was a coin toss sometimes. It really depended on the time of day because the 720 has dedicated bus lanes. So if I was commuting with traffic, I would probably take a 720 because it's actually faster. However,
construction though.
well, that's true, and that's the other point. But the Rapid 7, the good thing about the Rapid 7 is the Wilshire Western. That's the starting point. So you get a seat. You don't always get a seat on the 720 when you board at Wilshire and Western.
You don't always get a seat on the Rapid 7 if you're going during school time.
Yes, that is also true, and you have to leave in the morning. But it was usually, for me, it generally came down to whether or not I wanted to save the money, because it's about 50 cents cheaper to ride the big Blue Bus than it is to ride Metro.
Kind of on that topic of the students on the Rapid 7, because you see a lot of people doing the commute where they take the train to the Rapid 7 starting point, and they'd go all the way to Santa Monica College. But now with the train going all the way to the college, 17th Street, that's gonna. I mean, if I were a student in LA and I wanted to go to UCLA or a UC, university. After my 2 years of junior college, that would be the college I would want to go to.
Yeah, I mean, Santa Monica College is actually very progressive on the transportation issue. The student body the student body fees actually go to paying for student passes. So all Santa Monica College students are able to ride for free. Well, I mean, as I said, their dues go to buy them passes, but they've worked out a deal with, so they're paying for it, but they're paying for it through their student body dues. And so a lot of the big, they can ride the big Blue Bus whenever they want for free. And that really encourages them to do it. And it's incredibly convenient if you live near a major arterial, like the Rapid 7. They won't be able to ride Metro for free, from what I understand. So that's, but yeah, you're right. There are 3 stops in Santa Monica. There's the 26th Street stop, there's the 17th Street stop, and then there's the downtown Santa Monica, which stops at 4th and Colorado. And the 17th Street stop is a little less than a mile north of campus. So, and there's a pretty high quality bike lane that runs down 17th Street there. So my hope is that you'll see a lot of students who maybe the Rapid 7 wasn't the most convenient option for them, but the Expo line is actually more conveniently located where they're coming from, and so they're taking, they're taking that instead of driving in. So
one more question before we go to commercial. Well, actually, 2 more things. One, I remember you were telling me there was another open street event in June. Why don't you mention that real quick?
Sure.
And then
there are a couple things happening actually. So Santa Monica is celebrating Expo, rightly so, on the 20th and the 21st.
Okay.
And on the 20th, you're having this, the big hoopla and so on. And on the 21st, it's my understanding that all day on the 21st, Expo rides will be free.
Yes.
Big Blue bus rides will be free.
Oh, that's
I'm not
cool.
sure of the exact times that they're going to be free, but I'm pretty sure it's for a good chunk of the 21st. And you can check that out at bigbluebus.com.
Okay.
There's also bike share. Santa Monica has LA County's first public bike share system.
Yep.
And they will be offering free rides on the system. And you can check out more about that at santamonicabikeshare.com. And on the 21st, on that day, that same day when they're offering those free rides, 6 of the new stations will be having miniature festivals at each one of them. And in Santa Monica, all 3 of those stations will be having miniature festivals around there where businesses and community groups and people will be out, and you'll be able to get a chance to explore what's around each station and understand what sort of destination there is within a walking, biking distance of each one of the stations. So,
cool.
And then on June 5th, Santa Monica is having its first Open Streets event. The most popular one in LA is Ciclavia. This is similar to that. It's shorter, and it's going to be much more emphasis on multimodal, not just necessarily biking. So it's they're really encouraging people to walk, to bike, to explore the streets. It's going to be about 2 miles. Total down to the Venice border, and then north to Wilshire along Ocean and Main Street in Santa Monica, so really close to the beach.
Oh, cool.
It's a really already vibrant part of town, and it's on June 5th, and they're encouraging people to take Expo and experience that.
Oh, that'll be great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Jason. And he's going to stay here. We're going to bring Katya back. We'll be right back in a moment.